beautiful Burlington, North Carolina. Now let's hear for your host, our President and CEO, Andy Albright.
Woo! All right. Y'all grab a seat. We got a plan today. We're going to light it up today. I've got some dates I want to share with you. I might have them right here. And I might have them over here. I got them over here. Let's go with, let's go with those. That's April. Let's go with these. Here we go. This is this week. So tonight, we're going to have a social. 7th, 8th, and 9th. So tonight is today the 6th. So tonight, if you're a part of the Leadership Academy, who's part of that? Raise your hand. We have a social tonight over at, where is it? Best Western. And then y'all got to go to bed early tonight because we got to get up 8 o'clock. No, matter of fact, we're going to be rolling at 8 a.m. We're going to be rolling at 8 a.m. And pack a lunch because we're going to go all the way till 11. And the one of you that was going, I thought y'all was going to have lunch. We probably picked somebody else. You know what I'm saying? We should have got somebody else because we got lunch. Lunch going to be there. It's a saying. We're going to go from 8 a.m. until 11 o'clock of intense training. It's going to be kind of crazy. We've got a lot of instructors coming in. It's well prepared. I think it's going to change your life. And that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Is that right? Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So congratulations. How many of y'all raise your hand again if you were selected? Okay. All right. And then we've got one in Lakeland, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So the 17th, we'll do the social. And then we'll be in Dallas, Texas. We'll do the social on the 20th, and then on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Those are going to be pretty intense. I'm excited about those. I should have mentioned Family Reunion. Family Reunion is July 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. How many of you already have a ticket? Already got a ticket? Okay, cool. I need for you to really, these are big dates to put down. July 18, 19, 20, 21. Get those in your calendar and start figuring out how you're going to get to Family Reunion. How do you get something off your calendar, get the hotel room booked, get everything planned out. This is a really, really big deal. We'll have this is the crazy. This is the national where we just slam that convention center out and it's just off the chain. This is where we show our power. This is when we come together. I want to show you. Let's go back to those. I am going to show the plan. This is a little ways out. We're going to have dinner with a few select people, and then we'll do a meeting, and Vagnosi's going to be traveling with me. Dean will. And more than likely, some people from National Life Group and Fidelity and Guarantee will be with us. And the Vice President of Foresters, Matt Berman, will be traveling with me. Some of you met him, so he's with me in jet all week. So this is a Monday, and this is standard days for those meetings. We want to blow those meetings up. The next morning, which will be the 23rd, we'll do a morning meeting on IULs, very specific, high-level IUL annuity training. And that's what this is, big IUL training the following morning from 8 a.m. to 12. So this, on the Monday night, will be a show the plan and meeting afterwards. And then the next morning, Dean will do the IUL training. We'll jump on the jet and we'll take off to Duluth. Y'all tracking with me on this? So it's a pretty packed week for me and the people that are traveling with me on the jet. What else do we have? Those are the big ones. The other big one that's going on is we are going to be going to Alaska on the Ovation of the Seas. Woohoo! And that contest is underway. January is gone. You cannot make that up. February done gone. We're in March. You need to get a move on if you're going to win this. Remember we did it, everybody say, I'm going to win, everybody's going to win. Well, tick-tock, time's going by. You need to get with it if you're going to win it, okay? All right, so that is rocking. Oh, I want to share with you something that some people may not have heard of. It's called the Good Samaritan bonus. If we could, Bill, if you can pull that up, that'd be fantastic. The way this works, you pick a charity that you want to give money to this year. And then all year long, you are working toward that charity. You can win $25, you can win up to $300. And what we do is, based on your production for the month, we will start piling this money up for you. And then at the end of the year, and when we do our national convention next year, you'll invite your charity to show up, and maybe you give them $25. Maybe they go, I can't be driving in here from 8 hours away for 25 bucks. Or maybe you have $3,000 or $4,000 saved up, and we write checks, and your charity is holding out the check that you give them. And maybe some charities will get 10 checks. Maybe 10 people pick that charity. So January convention will be pretty cool when we pass out our Good Samaritan bonuses. So this is our money we give out. So right now, the way I am reading it, we give out $9,200. We're not giving it out yet, but that's how much is starting to pile up. So if this stays on track, we'll get what? Close to $100,000 we will give away in January to your charities. Don't come out of your commission. You don't have to match it. You don't have to put anything up front. It's just a charity you pick, and it's just got to be a valid charity. So we'll give away over $100,000. Hope some of it is yours. So here's the deal. 123 people earned $25 toward their charity, so that's piling up. We had one person do 225, one person do 200, and 100 said, let's see who these people are. This is near misses. We could have had $15,000, but people barely missed it for one reason or another. Let's see who got this money here. All right, who is that? Michelle Alleman. Yep. Michelle Alleman, she paid $49,000, so she got $225 toward her Good Samaritan, whatever she picks. Sarge Wilson, $200. Mark Hutchinson's $175. $150 is Eric Lardy. James and Jane, they're back in the room. I see them back there. Woohoo! Here's the $125. Peter Orozco, Travis Graham, Paul Epstein, Jonathan Yakey, James Coleman. $100, Minerve, Kimberly Spinelli Young, Joseph Dukes, Paul Menachino, Lee Reyes, Pam Moore. Here's the $75 ones. You get it? Now, what these other numbers over here to the right are, it's just keeping track of who's recruiting who. So 2 recruits Michelle had, no recruit Sarge this month, none by Mark Hutchinson, none by Lardy. James and Jane recruited 5 direct to them. So it's just kind of give you an idea, or gives me an idea of reports when we look at them to see what's going on with the different organizations. We can see what's going on here. So no recruits except for Paul Epstein. And then here, Joseph Dukes got 1, Paul Menachino got 1, and Pam Moore 1. And then here's some 3s down in here. Let's see who they are. Adam Johnson got 3. Junior Korea 3. Alain German got 7. 5 to Chris Long. Got, what is it? Category is that? Sales, base shop recruits. So he had a lot in his base shop. Chris Long, 12 of them. And then 12 for Michael Hartley. They go growing down there in Florida. So you can look across and we can follow the reports. But the main thing to see, I'm looking for, is how much money we earned for Good Samaritan and who got it. So you should see that start piling up. We'll have a thing on ARC eventually where you can see the amount that you have saved up. All right, Good Samaritan bonus. Check it out. Pass it around if you want to see who got what. That is the biggest date stuff that I wanted to share with you that's coming up, and the money that's being given away. All right, Billy, go back to the family reunion, if you would, Billy. All right, great week in production. I'm seeing how things are taking off like crazy. I congratulate you on that. The numbers are going crazy. Recruiting generally across the board is going up. the IUL sales, the annuities that are getting issue paid, it's looking good. We're starting to get a lot of traction. So I put together 5 questions that I want to answer. This is kind of one. It goes like, I'm working a lot. No, that's not the one I want to put up. I had a long question. Oh, I'm working really hard, but I'm not making enough money. Do you think I need to get a job to keep paying my bills while I build this business? Anybody ever heard that question before? Or am I the only one? How many of you thought it personally? Maybe I need to. Don't raise your hand. You already did. So you tracking with me on this question? So somebody comes to me that. By the way, about any question they come to me, I'm gonna react like I'm reacting right now and be like, You know, it's hard for me to do 2 people, but if I'm reacting like this, and another person is reacting like this, you see the difference in how I act? And what about if a person is going like, I understand what you're saying. You see the contradiction in that? So when I answer this question of, should I get a job? I'm not sure if I'm turning money quick enough. Let me give you another question. It's same question. I got a job, and I think I want to quit and go full-time so I have time to build this business. Okay, so it goes both ways. I'm ready. I want to quit my job and go full-time so I can build this business. Or I'm working this business like crazy and I'm not making enough money. Should I get a job? And my typical reaction is going to be like, yeah, help me understand it. So what I try to do, and what I'm going to try to do to you, if you're thinking this, is I'm going to try to put it on a silver platter. I'm going to try to break it down so you can see what you're thinking. A lot of times, when I get through explaining something, people say, well, when you put it like that, the answer seems obvious. And I was like, I'm just putting it out so you can decide and you choose. Okay? I'll help you get a job. Let me see your resume. I'll help you dress up your resume. I know how to make a resume look good. I'll tell you what to say in the interview. I'll tell you what not to say to interview. I'll tell you who pays the most in the jobs. I'll help you. I'm not against you. I'm just trying to understand. So I'm always going to hit a person with, I understand, I hear what you're saying. Have you thought, and I will hit them with, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? So let's try to hit, and if I get through those 2 questions, I'm working a lot. Do I need to get a job? I have a job. Should I quit fast? The 4 basics of recruiting and building and selling. TikTok, 24 hours. These are other things that I want to try to mention if I get through the other one. Hopefully I will. A couple of these I got to get through. These are things that I talk about every single day of my life with individuals. If I could possibly get a handful of you to hear me today, so I don't have to do it with individuals, or you don't have to wait until I meet with you. If you know what I'm saying? It's like, if we go ahead and get this out of the way. Okay. So a person comes to me and says, I need a job, I'm not making enough money. I say, what do you think you're going to do? And they say, well, I've got a master's degree in sociology, I've got an engineering degree, or this is a great one, I don't have a degree. I go like, okay, so what are you thinking? You know, what's the job you're going to get? I'm hoping I've got this guy that's going to give me a painter job. I'm going to get me a paintbrush. I'm going to start painting because I'm thinking that'd be a pretty good paid job. That's probably like $14 an hour, right? Because if they're thinking $8 an hour or $9 an hour or $11.50 or $12.50, I'm going to go like, I'm probably going to try to keep my poker face, but I'm going to be going like, I don't think that's a lot of money. And I'm not mad, but I'm thinking, you're with us. Gray board where I can draw. NAA, job. Okay? So the first question is, what kind of job do you think you can get? If they say, my daddy has already told me that he'll pay me $227,000 a year, I'm going to take it. Take it. That's my opinion. $225,000. I said, well, take it. But then I'll go, wait, let's think about how much you can make here. And then we draw it out, and it ain't going to be $225,000 not doing any work. Right. You said, why do you think they ain't going to have to do any work? Because their daddy's paying them. So I would show them how much they work they're going to have to do here and make. I can show them how to make $180,000, no problem. No problem. But not without doing any work. Right. So it depends. So that's what people come to me, they go like, I told him not to take a job. You told him not to take a job. What kind was it? I didn't ask him. I told him he could make more money here. And I'm thinking, well, if his daddy was going to pay $220, like people think I don't think this. They think I make this stuff up. No, I'm thinking, what kind of job were they going to get? Because I've seen this happen, right? Now, my daddy's going to make me a job, and he's a painter, and he wants me to go and paint with him. I go like, how much you going to pay? Like $16 an hour. All right, that's not bad. That's good. Let's write that down. $16 an hour. So what I start trying to do is define it. 16, how many hours they're going to give me? He says, well, 5 to 10 hours a week. I go, all right, 5 to 10 hours. So that's $160 a week. You with me? Does that make sense? I try to define. The Bible say, yeah, I done went on a preaching thing. Seek first to understand. First, figure out what the heck they're talking about. Calm down. Well, that takes too long. I just want to tell them. Well, that's the way you got to do it. First, try to understand where they're going to work. What's the hours going to be? Do they have to travel? Do they have sick pay? Do they get benefits? Get it all figured out. What if they don't know? Well, if a person says they don't know, here's the answer. What's your name, sir? Travis. Here's what you say. Say, well, if you didn't know, what kind of job? Does that make sense? Is that lady with you? What's her name? So, you ever ask Taylor where she wants to go to eat? And she says, I don't know. This will work. This will work. You got Taylor? I know you don't know, and I don't know either. But let's say you did know. Where would you want to go? A lot of times, if she's not paying attention, she'll be like, well, if I didn't know, I'd probably steakhouse. And you see what I'm saying? Like, you just hit a person with, if you didn't have a clue, where do you think it would be? Or if you, let's say you don't have to pick, but let's you just lean. Yeah, where would you lean? Where would you lean away from? So what you got to do is I know it sounds crazy, but what you got to get people to do is think. And I just sent out my link to my white sheeting. What you do is you white sheet with them. You get out a sheet of paper and you start talking to them and asking them to think, what could you get? Because here's what they're thinking. Should I get a job? Should I run more appointments? What should I do? You know, what should I do? You're like, well, let's think it through. Like, what kind of job could you get? So this is a huge determining factor. What kind of job could you get? How much is it going to cost? They're going to pay you. All right. So let's do an example of one and see if you can maybe copy the example. Let's say, because it's a huge difference. A person's going to make $24,000 or $16,000 working 40 hours a week, and $70,000, and then $250,000 working 40 hours a week. It really matters. So let's say that they got an offer of $60,000, okay? And they think they can make that. First of all, if they say that, that probably means they can make 42, okay? Because it's very difficult. Now, if they say, I got a job making 60, okay, good. But if they say, I think I could get that, you go like, all right, let's see how 60 looks. So what I always have is calculator or my phone close by, so I can do the math on something like this. I go 60,000. How much should you bring home after taxes? I don't know. It's been a long time since I made $60,000 in a year. I'm in a year. I would think 40 grand or 50 grand. 45. So everybody's saying 45. So 45 it is. We'll go with that. Say you're gonna make 45,000 on your job because they take taxes out. So I take 45,000 divided by 52 divided by 40. I got the wrong answer. 45,000 divided by 52 weeks divided by 40 hours. I got you at $21. Let's say $22 an hour. Does that sound right? That's what you're going to, like if you put in 40, you're going to get about $800 a week. So like, yeah, I could use that $800 a week. I say, oh yeah, I know you. What do you think you make in this business with us? And they say, well, I'm really not making anything in it. I go, well, how many hours are you working? You know, and they say, well, I mean, I'm really not. I mean, I'm coming to the meeting. So no, working, like where you try to make money. Like people say things like, you don't walk through this with all the way through with somebody, do you? Yeah. It takes a lot of time, right? Yeah. I mean, it's how I make my living. I got to get people to understand stuff, so I explain it to them. You know what people said to me? Paul said, I wish I didn't have to do that. I go, yeah, me too. I wish I didn't have to tell you that you have to do that. See, you wish you didn't have to tell them this, and I wish I didn't have to tell you that you got to tell them that. I wish you just knew that you had to tell them that. Yeah, it works. Everybody wishes there's a billionaire, you know. North Carolina lottery. Help the school system and get rich with doing nothing. No. Okay. So I don't ask them how much time they do this. A lot of people ask them how much time they put in. I don't say that. Okay. Who thinks they know exactly what I'm going to say? What do I ask them? What's the number? Who thinks that? I know what you ask them. I'm trying to figure out how much they're working. So what do I ask them? How many knows? Raise your hand. What am I going to ask them? All right, Stephen Handy, what do you think I'm going to ask them? Scream it. How many dials did you make last week? That's exactly what I want to know. I don't want to know how many appointments. I want to know how many dials they made. I might trick them by saying, how many appointments did you make last week? But let me tell you something. That's just a get warm and fuzzy kind of question. Because Albright getting ready to ask you how many dials you made. That's what we call the activity. Does that make sense? Now, Albright knows stuff. He knows the statistical analysis. If you don't know this, I suggest you watch this stuff over and over again and try to learn it. All right. How many dials can a good, average, solid citizen of America make typically? Who knows about what it is? I go across. Let me ask, who makes dials all the time? Like you, every week you're making dials, and you know how many dials you can make per hour. Raise your hand. You know how many dials you can make per hour. Danny, how many hours in an hour? 50. Kyle, 50. Anybody else? Anybody different than 50? Rebecca, 55. Anybody different? Anybody lower? Angela, 40. Like a boss. 40. Okay. Debbie, 40. 35, 40. Let's do 35. 35 to 40. Okay. So if the person that I'm talking to has no clue how many they make per hour, if they say 40, I'm going like this. I'm like, ooh, you know the numbers. You're making 40. How many hours did you work last week? They go like, 8. I go, so you made 8 times 40? And they go, whoa, wait. You see what I'm saying? Because when Albright puts it on a silver platter and lays it out like that, see, when he lays it out like that, you see what I'm saying? Oh, when you put it like that. Oh, when you're going to get factual. I didn't know we was going to do that. I thought we were going to whine together. I go, you didn't see no bottle opener, did you? That's a different party. Y'all following this logic? Albright is not the guy you want to fight with. You can ask Jane. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Just kidding. Okay. I fight, like as in I win, or I don't fight. Does that make sense? So if I engage with you, if I think you're a total liar, I'm not going to talk to you. Or if I think I'm just talking to a person who's totally lying to themselves. Here's a phrase that I am going to use if we have this conversation about you working a job or not making enough money. Now, not if you already got a job. It'll be different if you already got a job. Does that make sense? It'll be a different conversation if you already got a job. You ain't got a job, you think you're going to make money, you've been trying, and it ain't working. This is what conversation. I'm going to say, please don't lie to me, but if you have to, lie to me. But my friend Shakespeare, y'all know who him, he's a playwright. He wrote all these plays and stuff. He said, to thine own self be true. So I would say, don't lie to yourself. Like, if you can't trust yourself, who can you trust? So I didn't know he was going to get into the details. Ain't that where the devil is, in the details? We got to get the devil out of here. We got to get down in the details to get the devil out. Unless you just like hovering with him and just whining about it. You with me? So this is the conversation I'm having with somebody. I'm like, I'm not against you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I want you to succeed. As a matter of fact, if you understand how this deal works, the more you go up, the better I do. So I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to drive you down. I'm not trying to, well, you don't make money if I get a job. I go, look, if you get a job so that helps you build this business, that helps me. But if you get a job and then you don't build your freedom and all you do is just work and don't try to get free, that's not hurting. That's not going to help me or you. Because our program was you getting financially free, not you getting a good job. I got friends that got good jobs and they want to keep them. I told them how to keep their jobs. That's what they want. You said you wanted freedom. That makes sense? So I'm just saying, have you changed what you want? If you change your wants, then let's change what you do. Because what you do tells me what you want. See, what most people want is what their intentions are. And I go, intentions is not nothing. It's what you do that matters. So let's talk about how many dials you're making. So then which way, it depends, right? If they say I'm making about 50 to 60, what are we going to say to them? What are we going to say to them? You're making $50 to $60 a week. I mean, I don't. What if they said none this week, but I know I need to do more? Hold on. Let me write that down. You got none this week, but you need to do more. You NTDM. How many times have I heard NTDM? How many dollars you make? That's right. I need to do more. Oh, look, watch this. And I know it. What is that? So the question was, silly, how many dials are you making a week? How many dials do you make a week? So what are you trying to do? We're trying to decide if this is not working and that they'd be better off doing that. You with me? I was trying to decide. You asked me to help you decide and what I think, and here's what I think. I think that this business is not working because you're not working. That's what I think. And I think it's unfair to say you need to get a job because this is not working. You need to get a job because you won't work. If you need to get a job because you won't work, get the job. But if you think having a job is going to make you work, I don't think so. I've heard people say this, maybe I'll get mad and go to work. I said, no, you'll get mad and you'll have a job and you'll have money and then you won't be mad anymore. And then you'll be just getting by again and you'll be fine. You'll bitch, moan, whine, and complain just like you're doing now. You'll wonder, you'll weaver, you'll discuss, you'll conversate. But see, you can't, by the way, you can't say this to them. You just go, but you hope it'll click. I mean, you really hope it'll click. I like it when they already got one and come tell you. They say, how you handle that? I go, great, that's good. I'm glad. You liking it? Is it fun? They paying you good? Good boss? Yeah, good. Did you try to recruit the boss? Did you try to recruit other people there? So you don't get mad at them? Why? They knew. Well, maybe they didn't know what I'll say, but I just ain't gonna get mad. It just don't serve any purpose to start screaming at them. Okay, so you see where we are with this person. Let's move on to a different person that we talked to. Okay. So let's say, has anybody had this conversation recently? This conversation? Yeah. How many was yours? Now, and I know they said they need to do more. What did they, Tia?
Trying to decide whether to go to work.
That's awesome.
I know, right? I like the echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to decide.
Let's have that back. They're trying to decide
Whether they need to go to work and just do this on the side.
Okay, so where I am is the specificity of number of dials or number of appointments. I talked to one, and my most recent was, I need to do more. And I said, seriously, how many are you doing? And she said, well, I want to do 20. And I'm like, if I could just get you to understand the English language. I mean, communication is lubrication of financial affairs, and I feel like I'm rubbing up against sandpaper. I don't know about y'all, but there's a lot of contradiction in all them words I just said. You talking about financial lubrication and sandpaper, we're getting ready to have a problem. I'm asking a question, and you're grading against me. Does that make sense? So so then it really depends on how much you like them and how you care about them, how mean you get or how brutal you get. You might just go come here, Paul. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. Here, you can't do this. You go like we had this conversation, right? You go, God, man, if there's anybody else besides you, I'd be worried, bro. Love you, man. All right, bro. Well, look, get after it. Get after it, bro. All right, go. Because it's just, why engage? But if you like them, you see a spark, you see some talent, you see a little backbone emerging, like getting a little bit like you want to push them a little bit. You know what I mean? Just nudge them a little if they're a friend of yours. But it's I wish I had done with this person's backed them into the dials. But I was just like, I just kind of give up. I said, I'm not going to get into the dials because we're going to have to go round and round about that. You're talking about an average of 6 weeks, or are you talking about last week, or this week I was depressed and like, oh God. You know what I mean? So I was like, this is not going to go good. So where I'm going to get to is I need for you to have a good job with us, meaning, Normally, Billy, I got another sheet that I would just hit and get another sheet made. There it is. Aha. Brilliant. Leave it like that so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so what I like for people to do is 20 appointments a week and recruit the rest of the time. How'd you make that go away? I'll leave that up there so I can see it, boss. There we go. All right. So, if you had a job with me, you said, Andy, I'm serious about this business. How should I proceed? I'm not sure if that was one of my questions, but here's a question I get a lot. Help me work out my calendar. I don't know if I should dial on Tuesdays, dial on Wednesdays, and I go, I don't know. And then a lot of people, I get a lot of criticism of this. People want me to tell them whether to go to church or not. Tell them whether to watch Saturday morning commercials or not. Tell them on whether they ought to go to a date night or not. And I'm like, that's a little too personal for me. What I need for you to do, get with Paul or James or Kyle. They're smarter than me when it comes to stuff, and they're willing to get into the weeds like that with you. Whereas I'm really not. I need for you to book 20 appointments. how many phone calls do you think you would have to make? This is really where I try to get to them. Okay? I need for you to make enough. All right? We had a lady, Linda Holt. Saturday morning, she booked 30 appointments. I don't know how many dials she did. Does anybody know how many dials? Kyle, do you know how many dials she did? 199. So she made 199 calls or talked to 199 people. 199 dials. When did she start and how long did it take her?
6 hours.
She took her 6 hours. So I don't think she did 50 dials an hour because 50 times 6 would be 300. So 199 divided by 6. Looks like she was making 33. So either all of y'all exaggerated or all of y'all are faster than Linda. Okay, now watch. Let's say you can make 55 calls an hour and you only book 4 appointments this week. She's slow as molasses in the wintertime on one of them hard trees. She's slow as a turtle. Does that help? A snail? But if she books 30 and you book 4, who's going to get more money this week? I don't want to call 6 hours. I didn't want to get up this morning. I want to lay in a bed. I don't know what to tell you. This whole program is not what we want. It's what we want. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I want to be rich, but I don't want to get up in the morning. But to get rich, I got to get. Does that make sense? It's it's conflicting interest, and we have to say yes and no. And picking what you say yes to and picking what you say no to is the whole program. JJ, is that JJ? You look like JJ if you ain't. JJ, this is what I do with them. I'm getting into the details and say, look, if your job is going to require 40 hours a week, and you're not willing to put in 6. Now here's what people say, she still got to run the appointments. I know that. I've been doing this for 20 years. I knew the first week that you have to run the appointments you book. I figured out, I was like, aha. Yo. All right. I'm looking for my people I'm coaching to do around 20. Okay? Now, you see, a lot of times people, I start laying it out like this, they've already made their mind up. They're like, you can stop anytime because you've cleared it up for me. And some of them say, well, I just don't understand. And I go like, okay, here's the deal. If you go to work for that job that's 40 hours a week, you're going to have to get up and you're going to have to go work for 40 hours. You've got to put in 40 on your own job before you can decide if this job makes more money than that job. And then people's like, well, I feel like I'm working. This is not a feel. This is a mathematical, down to the details, what did you do and what did you not do business. That's what we like about it. It's not a political business that you get paid based on your color or your sex or how tall you are, how much you suck up to the boss or how much they love you. It's based on that's what I liked about it. I mean, with money, I flew up and got the CEO of Forrester's, the head guy in charge of Canada, UK, and here. I know what he's looking for. My boy looking to put the basketball in the net, put the pigskin across that line down there. He's looking for the bread in the oven. He's looking for the car in the garage. You with me? He's looking for the premium up in Canada. Does that make sense? He's looking for the numbers. That's what I liked about it. He ain't asking me, now let me ask you something. You're Irish descent? You German descent? What part of Africa is you from? He didn't ask me nothing like that. He want to talk about what kind of premium you think y'all going to do next week. Let me get my calculator out here. Does that make sense? He's looking for the premium. He's looking for the numbers. Were you asking something different that I'm trying to answer? I'm just trying to work with you on to understand what's going on. People say, don't you tell them they ought to have freedom and have their own job and dream with them? Yeah, I guess, kind of. I mean, we do that all the time, don't we? And they're around everything. So, and then people ask me, so why do you have to break it down like this? Shouldn't they know this? Okay, for you that want to be leaders, you that want to have a team, tell people things that seem painfully obvious and clear to you. Tell people things that are very simple and easy to understand and that you're shocked that they don't understand. Explain easy, simple, clear stuff to people. It will mess them up and it'll change your perspective. Because a lot of times when you're telling them, you get to thinking about yourself. If I didn't even book 20, I'm sitting there telling him 20. I told him to make 20. I didn't make 20. I ain't got no money myself. See, if I can get you explaining this like this, I'm going to get 2 people. And I ain't had to do no work. I'm trying to do like the one making $250,000 from the daddy that don't work, you know. I want you to explain it to somebody. Because it'll start occurring to you like, Dad, gum, when you put it like this to people, it makes you understand you're a problem. Right. Okay. So I'm looking for enough dials. So if they said I make 80 to 90, if they said I make 80 to 90, y'all can remember she booked 30. Let me get up here. If they say I'll book 80 to 90, I call 80 to 90, and I go, how many appointments do you book? And they say, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I go, well, tell me. Well, I'm telling you, I don't book enough appointments. You just want to put a blade on. I only use the book about 3. I go, well, that's not bad. That's not bad. I know people that can't book appointments. They go like, yeah, how am I going to book 20? I go, this is called algebra. Albright got a degree in that. All right, so let's go with the worst case scenario. We say you're so bad that you only get 3 per 90. You say, well, how many I got to dial to get 20? This is a formula, okay? How many of you can figure out this formula? How many of you like, please God, no, don't ask me, don't ask me, don't ask me, don't ask me. Raise your hand if you don't want to ask me. Say, please don't ask me. Please don't ask me. Okay. Okay. Tia? You thinking about it? Okay, who 100% knows they couldn't figure it out if you give them a week? You could ask somebody. Okay, what I want to know is how many calls do they have to make to book 20 if their average holds real? Who don't know the answer to that? Raise your hand. Promote her. You know? Yeah. How would you do it? Tell me. What's your name again? Travis. How would you figure it out? Ain't no basic. Just tell me the number. It's only one damn way to do it. Sorry. That's what I like. There's no ambiguity in this stuff. It's very clear. How would you do it, Travis?
So I'll start off by making
300 Woo! Travis said he'd start out by making 300 dials. That's what he said. People say, what's so funny about that? That's not the question I asked, Travis. Oh, shoot. Is it Taylor? Or your name Taylor? Taylor, do you know how to calculate how many dials she needs to make? Does that surprise you, Kyle, that people don't know that? I knew that people don't. This is what I mean. It's very plain to me. Angela, do you know how to calculate this?
20 dials, so it'd be...
Y'all really don't know, do you? Maddie, where are you going to school? UNCG? If you was at NC State, you'd know the answer. Angela, come up here and tell me what you do.
All right, Angela.
90 gets you 3. What gets you 20?
90 times 7.
She says 90 times 7.
I'm rounding.
You might be close. 90. Well, how did you figure? Where did you get 7 from?
Because 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm close to
So
20.
she says 3 times 7 is 21. So she must figure that it's 7 times 90. That's what she figured. Okay? It's not bad approximation. Okay?
I'm overestimating.
You're overestimating. So you said, what did you say? 7 times?
90.
7 times 90, 600. She's saying 630. Okay. All right. Here's what you do. 20 divided by 3 is 6.66. 6.66 times 90, 600. Okay. So let's check our math. So every 90, she should get 3. So 600 divided by 90, 600 divided by 90 gets us 6.6. So there's 6.6 90s in 300, and 6.6 times 3 is 20. You see the math? See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for every 90 gets her 3, every 600 should get her 20.
That's right.
Does that make sense? Somebody should be falling out like, how did he do that? How did he do that? He's the president and CEO of our company. So about 6:30. So it's just 3 we call these gazintas, okay? 3 goes into 20 6.6 times, and 90 goes into 600 6.66 times. Y'all ever done your gazintas? Did y'all do those in college? Go sit down. You gazintas. Y'all ain't. All right, how many of y'all learned some math today? How many of you think you could calculate it back out? So you said I'd start by 300 and see if I got it, and then I'd do another 100 and see if I got it. But this is just statistically speaking. There's another way to do it. Is you want to know how many? Do you know how many appointments she sets per dial? How many appointments does she get for one dial? Okay. Do you know how to do that? It is 3 divided by 90. She gets 0.033 appointments for every dial she makes. Does that make sense? For appointments per dial. She gets 3 appointments for 90 dials. So 3 divided by 90 is 0.033. So she gets 0.033 appointments per dial. Because we know, so you say, well, how many dials do you have to get 1? Okay? Is that, you with me? So 3 divided by 90 is 0.003 appointments per dial. So if we said 1 divided by 0.033, she's going to have to make 30 dials to get 1 appointment. Oh, Andy, seriously? Yeah, look. If she made 90 dials, if she gets 1 per 30, she'd get 3. People are like, you seriously think about this stuff? Yeah. But where'd you learn this? I learned it at NC State. I learned it at textile school. I didn't go to textile school. Well, that explains why you don't know how to do this. Does your manager tell you? No, my manager ain't never told me nothing. Okay, it's your manager. That's the leader you got. He'll change. He'll grow up. He'll get better. I didn't need to know this. I don't know. It changes my whole concept of life when I start looking like this. The proof is you're booking 3 per 90. You ain't making enough dials. They say I need to get better. If I book 90, I think I should book 15 appointments. I go, yeah, maybe, but you're not. This is where you are in life. So like if you said, I think I'm going to make $150,000 a year. I go, have you got an offer? I got one for 40. Well, I think they ought to pay you $150. It's the same thing. If whatever they're willing to pay you is what they're willing to pay you. And whatever you're capable of doing is what you're capable of doing. I need for you to make 600 dials a week. How long is that going to take me? Well, how many are you doing per hour? How many appointments? I don't know. Okay, well this week, take a watch and say, all right, it's 8 a.m. I'm going to start dialing, and then when the big hand comes all the way around one time, and it shows up at 9 o'clock, that's 1 hour later. Y'all know how to do that one, right? You tell me how many dials you've made. Or you do like Linda, and she called for 6 hours, and then you look back, and she made 90 phone calls, and you divide that by 6. No, she made 199. So 199 divided by 6, she makes 199 divided by 6. That's how many dials per hour, and she got 30 appointments. This is what I do for people. I go like, this is how it works. You got to quit shuffling papers and call it working. You got to quit looking on Facebook and looking at motivational YouTubes and television and worrying about what, leadership is taken and not given. If you don't get out of bed, you can't go to work, and you need to eat healthy so you have a healthy body to build your business with. Okay, we got all that. Now let's start making some dials. You know, watch one more video to show you that. One more. Does that make sense? So what I'm still answering the question, do you need to get a job or not? Or do you need to do this? I'm just trying to understand. The first thing we got to do is understand the situation. Where are you? Are you working in this business? Now, I'm going to skip, and I'm going to tell you something that I may or may not cover in this conversation with people. A lot of times it comes up. It works like this. This is another, I call these life stories, or I call it life. My children, they probably knew this stuff when they were 10 or 11. I started telling them stuff. Both of them, one's graduated with a master's degree, the other one's a sophomore, and I guarantee you they can do these numbers. I would bet my life on them calculating those numbers. They're just smart kids, and I've beat them up about this. No offense if you don't know the answer to this real quick. And I don't know if my kids would know it real quick, but I bet you with a calculator they'd figure it out real quick. So how many of you, right off the bat, you know how many hours there are in a week? Raise your hand, like you can say the number if I point to you. Raise your hand high. Know how many hours there are in a week. Now how many of you think you could calculate how many hours there are in a week? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you can calculate it. And then, okay, now how many of you say, I give up, I don't know, and I just admit it? Raise your hand. I don't know, and I can't calculate it. Debbie, are you going to be the only one to raise your hand? Only honest person in the room. Debbie? Taylor, can you calculate how many hours in a week? That's a yes or no? That's a nod. I need a yes or a no. Hunter? Yes? Yup is not a real good answer, but I do understand it. What is your name beside Debbie that keeps laughing so hard? Huh? Tessa. Tessa, can you calculate the hours in a week? Well, show Debbie. JJ, did you raise your hand right off the bat? How many? 168. How would you calculate that if you wasn't sure? Well, how would you test it? 7 times 24. There's 24 hours in a day. Oh, please God. Everybody knew that, right? 24 hours. All right, so here's what I do a lot of times with people. I go, how many hours a week? And they usually go, I don't know. I go, it's 168. And then I say, how'd you calculate that? And they go, I don't know. Like, all right, here's the way it works. There's 24 hours in a day. Do you agree with that? Look, and people are like, you're trying to convince me of something, ain't you? It's 24 hours in a day, bro. I'm not trying to convince you of nothing. I'm trying to enlighten you. Like me and Buddha trying to tell you how life works. Does that make sense? And Jesus and all you know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you how life's going to work. There's 24 hours in a day, and there's 7 days in a week. And people say, what about leap year? Daylight savings time. It don't matter. Like, it really don't matter. And if there's daylight savings time, it's the same thing. Does that make sense? Leap year, same thing. Well, February don't have as many days in a month. I know. We're discussing a week, ding-dong head. We're at week. Every week, there's 168 hours. How many phone calls, how many dials did you make? If you said 80, then the only question is how many hours does that take? If you're at 33, which is kind of slow, if you're at 33 calls per hour, what you do is you go 80 divided by 33. You worked 2.42 hours. Does that make sense? Like, people don't get this. If you dial, and they say, well, I'm pretty fast. Okay, I'm pretty fast. Okay, that's 50. 80 divided by 50, you only worked 1.6 hours. Oh, no, I'm slow. I worked a lot of hours. Well, you're very slow. How many did you dial? Well, I went over to Olga's for like 8 hours. You are really slow. In 8 hours, you accomplished 80 dials. Let's see how many dials you got per hour. People say, you don't really know the answer. Yeah, it'd be 80 divided by 8. You made 10 dials every hour. Like, people think I'm joking about it. I'm not kidding at all. This is what I do with people. I take them through these numbers with a calculator in my hand, and I say, tell me and I'm an idiot. And then here's what I do most of the time. And if you do this, I agree with you. You should do this. Did I tell you my husband left me? I'll be, oh, shoot, I didn't know that. I should ask, how's the family? How's your mom and them? And I just went right into the numbers. My bad. That's what I say. That's what they say. They go like, so let me ask you this. Do you want me to tell you how to get your husband back? Do you want me to tell you how to get a new one? Or do you want me to tell you whether you need to get a job or not? Because I've been answering the wrong question the whole dadgum time. I've wasted 3.5 hours talking to you. We could have called Jeff Bright or Tim Goode, and we could have a psychological prayer session and figure this whole thing out. I thought it was a math problem. Does that make sense? Okay, so if in 8 hours they made 80 phone calls, how many did they make in the day? Same amount. In the whole day, in 24 hours, they made 80 frickin' phone calls. Here's what I say this to people all the time. What else you do with time? And I always go, like, nothing. I go, no, seriously, what else you want to do with time? And they go, oh, nothing. I go, no, seriously, you have to do something else with your time. What do you do with your time? I don't know, I like reading. Really? That's cool. Think you only. It's like saying, did you kill this person on Tuesday? I said, no, I was reading. Where were you reading? In my bed. All day? Yeah. You're going to jail. Does that make sense? You got no alibi. You got no explanation. If you say, I was surfing on the internet, and you can prove it. That's all kinds of things I was looking up, reading, and studying, and just clicking around, entertaining. I went shopping. I bought some sunglasses. They'd be like, he's free. You can go free. He ain't kill nobody. And ain't going to kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? That jugger, he ain't going to do nothing. He's an internet surfer. Does that make sense? That's why I say to people, what were you doing? What do you do? What do you do with your time? Like, does that make sense? Okay, so this thing right here I do a lot in this should I get a job scenario, because people don't know. And you'd be surprised. If you're showing a plan next week, Jane, if you're showing a plan next week, you say to people, how many of you know right now how many hours in a week? And see how many right now. And raise your hand like that right there if you know. How many of y'all know how many hours in a week right now? You know. How many is it, Debbie? Booyah! Dude, what if we had 300 people in America who knew how many hours in a week? We'd go around, we're the smartest company on earth. On earth. I'm not kidding you. Well, you know, it's embarrassing. I mean, we did Uber in San Diego, and I got in the car, and the guy was from Ethiopia. And I said, Americans, they ain't too smart. He said, do not make me say this. You know, and I mean, because, because they don't know where Ethiopia, I mean, no offense to us, but they don't know where Ethiopia is. They don't know what language they speak. They don't know the government. They don't know nothing, including how many hours in a week. No offense to us. But wouldn't it be crazy if we could learn how many hours in a week? By the way, Alliance Leadership Academy, consider your training started. Because you're going to understand what 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. is. And for some of you, you're going to be like, oh, I didn't know it was that long. Does it make sense? Is this helping you answer the question to a person that says, instead of telling them yes or no, or how stupid they are, or what their dream is, just start working the mathematics on them in a real nice, non-threatening manner. So I'm just trying to understand, do you understand all this? I'm trying to give you the tools that you can decide. Okay? Does that make sense? Here's what you're really getting at. Here's what you're trying to show them. Is if you worked 40 hours here, how much money could you make? That's what you with me? Like if you worked, how much money could you make? So you understand what I'm saying? It's like you can do the math on how much how calculated you can be. So if there's 168 hours, if you're working 40 hours in this business, if you're working 40, and people say they're working 40, and then I go to write how many dollars did you make? I just go like it because that's where it starts. Because if they only put in 3 hours here and got $90, and they booked 3 appointments, how long can it take? 2 hours each. That'd be 6 hours. They're working 6 plus 3. They work 9 hours the whole week. And they're trying to tell me that it's not working. I go, you the one that's not working, not this. Like I'm not, this is it. You go like, oh, you don't understand. I had to drive 2 hours this way and 3 hours that way and 2 hours here and an hour back. So I'm like, all right, 3, 2, 2, 1. So you work 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours to do 3 appointments. How many is each appointment? So 8 hours to drive plus 3 hours. So I'm like, why did you book them all over the place like this? And they go, I don't know, it's what I do. Okay, good, all right, good. All right, I don't argue. So that's 11 hours plus the 3 hours. So now they're up to 14 hours. Go, well, I've been training. Okay, you don't get paid to train. You don't get paid when you go to college. You don't get paid when you go to ACC, technical college. You don't get trained to watch a YouTube video. I mean, you don't get paid for that. You get paid when you do the work. People say, why do y'all tell us to train? So that your numbers, so that you don't do some cock-out appointment setting strategy like this. You train, we tell you, book 3 appointments here, ding-dong head. That's what the training does. But I don't get mad at them because I just assume they ain't trained. I just go, okay, that's fine. I just do the math. I'm just a mathematical person. And I'm going, I want you to, now y'all got to see how I'm doing it. I mix, every time you turn around, I'm saying freedom. Every time I turn around, I'm saying dream. Every time I turn around, I'm saying travel. But I don't beat them over the head like, don't you want to travel? Don't you want to do it? I do the math and I go like, I was thinking, I want you to get free. I want you to learn stuff and travel the world and go on an Alaskan cruise with us. I mix it in, but not beating them over the head with it, Hunter. I'm talking about the math and then mixing in the dream and the freedom and the Ferrari and the Lamborghini and giving stuff to church. Does that make sense? Because why? Because they can argue about the dream and they can argue about whether rich makes you happy, but they can't argue this. I pick stuff they can't argue with. And I want to tell you, I used to have a guy, he'd always argue about his sales. He never wanted to argue about his number of appointments, and he never wanted to argue about his dials. He always wanted to tell me why this happened. And never did it have anything to do with this or this. It always had something to do with the people, the weather, me, the products, the government. It always had something to do with something. It never had to do with the number of appointments and number of dials. I can't get a person to do anything that don't admit where the problem is. That's why on the activity call last Friday, I said, number one thing you got to do is take responsibility. You've got to figure out what you did wrong. And I'm trying to give you a hint. It has to do with dials. Is this making sense, Paul? Okay. So, all right. So, I can keep doing the math. I can take probably 6 more hours, and I'm tempted to. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's say they figured out that they're making $1,000 a week with us. Does that sound good? Or do you want to do $500 a week? What do you want to do? They're doing, huh? $1,000. That's what they're getting. They're getting a comma, and they've got expenses. They've got lead costs. They've got gas. They paid for the all access. You know, the hotels. They got expenses. And then the question is, how much time do they take to do this? So I'm thinking maybe if they're just beginning, they're not that good, maybe it's 3 sales, or could it be 4? 4 sales? How many do you think? Let's go with 3. 3 sales, gets them $1,000. And then how many appointments did they go on? 4, 8? I know some people, they got to go on 12 appointments to get 3 sales. Okay, how many appointments did they go on and got no-shows? I know some people that every other one is a no-show. So they got to have 24 appointments so that they see 12, so that they get 3. Watch this. What if they wrote 3 and only 2 got issued? You with me? Then they're only making $500. You see what I'm saying? Or $600. You see what I'm saying? No, it's just a math thing. What are you doing? But let me show you where the problem is. That makes sense? You say, but Andy, if they went on 12 houses, shouldn't they have made 8 or 10 sales? Yeah. They're really bad at it. But watch this. If we did the math on this and they made 30, if they only booked 3 appointments per 30 phone calls. So that'd be 24 divided by 3. See what this is. See if they're working a 40-hour week. You with me? Like, oh, this is terrible. Let's see if they're putting in 40 hours. I don't know. Let's do 24 divided by 3. 24 divided by 3, that is 8. What is that? 8 what? It's 8 hours. Is that right? Yeah, if they're doing 3 per 30, and then how many 30-minute increments? So it's 8 times 30. Yeah, so that would be, if they were booking 3 appointments per hour, that'd be 8 hours of working. All right, now, how long does it take to drive to 12 appointments? Unless every single one's an hour, I mean, what are we going to do? How far are you booking? I mean, what kind of a circle they booked them in? Is they here? Let's give them 8 hours of driving, which I think is bull crap. But let's pretend like they just scheduled them all over the place, and they drove 8 hours. Okay, so we're 8 dialing, 8 driving. Let's say 8 in the house. Oh, you better make it 2. Okay. All right, let's 24 hours. I mean, I'm just exaggerating like crazy. 24 hours. What's left? They're at 32. They're at 40 hours a week. Is this the most inefficient 40 hours you've ever seen in your life? Well, here's what I tell them. You're making $1,000 a week working 40. Good news is there's 168 more hours that you could be working. They go like, well, I think I could get a job and make $2,000 a week. Okay, what's the job? Chick-fil-A? Nope, not going to make that much money. What job are you going to do? I'm going to be a painter. You mean like artist, or you mean like painter like this right here? You know, that's probably $12, $13 an hour. Let's see if you can get $12, $13 an hour. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't care if you get a job. I just want you to understand the deal. This is the worst. This is, you have to book 8 hours just to book 24. I don't believe that. and then you go on 24 appointments just to get 12 people to show up. I don't believe that. And you're in 12 appointments and you only get 3 sales. I don't believe that. But if you're that bad, maybe, right? Because let's figure out how much you're making. If you're at $1,000 per 40 hours, 1,000 divided by 40, you're making $25 an hour. Does that make sense? Like it almost don't make sense. You said, so if I make $25 an hour, no. If you make $25 an hour, they're going to take away the taxes. So you're not going to make $1,000, you're going to make about $750. On a job, if you work $25 an hour times 40 hours, you're only going to get about $750. And that's really being there and really wrapping them burgers. Well, I don't even know what you're going to do. $25 an hour. You count it. You're going to be really accounting. You can't be over there thinking about accounting and watching motivational accounting videos. You're going to have to be doing some accounting work. Y'all tracking with me on this? So this is what I take people through, this kind of a mathematical calculation. We can, you want to do a more realistic one? I mean, what people should be making per hour? And this helps when you're if you're at an opportunity meeting or something, you start asking people, what do you, Danny? How many hours do you usually work or make dials a week? You usually work about 3 hours, and do what? I'm gonna try this red mic again and see if it works better. Here you go. Let's try it. You work 3 hours. How many appointments do you usually set a week? 15 to 20 per week, 15 to 20. And how many apps do you usually write a week? 7 to 12. And what's the premium you usually like to write a week? 3,000 to 6,000. And then we got to calculate his commission, but let's just keep it simple and say 50%. So if we did averages on everything, and let's just say he makes $4,500 at 50%. We're talking about, let's just say he's making $2,000 a week. I know I like to be conservative, so I don't have to get into the math. $2,000 a week. So how many hours do you have to do this to get your? Do you have any? I don't know if you would know how many hours that you spend selling your job part. Higher hour per house. 7 to 12 appointments.
Probably about an hour driving time.
Hour driving time per appointment or total?
Total.
In between houses. Okay, so 13 plus 3, that's 16 hours. You got pending, you got follow-up, and if you don't have a secretary or wife or girlfriend or a husband that you've talked into it or a kid, so you're less than 40 hours a week, but you're at $2,000. So if you're doing that and you came to me and you said, I'm going to get a job, I would say, I understand $2,000 is hard to make it on it. I understand you're broke with $2,000. You want to get a job. I would say, how much do you think you could make? You say, well, what was you making at the state? 80,000 or 70? He was making 68,000 as a government worker. How many years had you been working there? 16 hours. He'd worked up to 68,000. But you got a job making 68,000 walking in the door. You hurting me and Danny's feelings. Took him 16 hours to get 16 years to get up there. You're gonna get there. You're just gonna walk in at 68,000. Congratulations. So 68,000. Let's see what he's making per hour right there. If he says I got a job, I can make 68,000 on top of my $2,000. So that would give you that's $100,000. That gives you 168. Sounds like a good deal to me. Let's figure out what 68,000. Well, first of all, do you remember how much you would bring home, Danny? 3,400 a month. So that's 30,000, 34, 35,000. That's all. 35,000 out of 68. So he ain't taxed that much. How much you want him to make? He says about 38,000. Let's pretend like he actually brings home 45,000. So I'm just being generous. So 45,000. So let's do 45,000 per hour. 45,000. How many hours you have to work, Danny? 50 to 60 hours a week. So 45,000 divided by, let's stay low, 50. That's $900. $900 a week divided by 40. You make about $22 an hour. $22 an hour, about what you end up making. How much were you making over here? Well, let's say that was taking you 20 hours, and you thinking about getting you a 40-hour job. Let's figure out what you figure out what you're making. You're making $100 an hour here. So you're making $100 an hour over here, and you're making $22 an hour over there. I got an idea. I mean, it's just an idea. Here's my idea. Here's my idea for you, okay? You're working 20. Let's get a part-time flexible job. You know how you're booking 15 to 20 appointments? Let's book an extra 13 to 21 appointments on the side. Probably take you 25 to 30 hours. 25 to 30 hours. You could take that extra money, make an extra 100 grand instead of an extra 45. All right, now watch this. All right, watch this. Here's my problem. I need for you to learn how to make phone calls. I need for you to quit sleeping. I need for you to study it. I need for you to listen right now. Let's book phone calls. And I show you how to become an avatar. I show you how to not be yourself. I know how you be a puppet. I show you how to answer questions, not ask questions. I mean, ask questions, not answer them. I show you how to book appointments quickly. Then I show you how to take a tape recorder, and in the house you record yourself. And then I also book you to go with me some next week. I got to get you better because you're terrible. You got to get better quickly. We got to get a sense of urgency about us, okay? But now if you're already doing pretty good on booking appointments, you just ain't working many hours. Then I talk to you about putting more hours in. What if you book 20 appointments? Then I start talking to you about going in a house. When you go in a house, there's 4 basics you got to do. Let's rank yourself. Let's rank yourself right now, Debbie. Let's rank yourself, Edel, on phone calls. Every time you talk to somebody, do you book an appointment? 1 to 10. 10 is, hey, yeah, I book it. If I don't book it, I hit redial and I book it. If I don't book it, I go to the house and I get it right then. I'll give him a 10. You with me? Like, oh, no, I let people talk me out of it. Oh, I hang up on people all the time. I go, oh, okay. So I give you a 2 because at least you are making phone calls. 2 to 10. See the problem? So we rank them, let them rank themselves on how they're good at making phone calls. And then how good are you at getting them to no-show? How good are you getting them to show up? So we start ranking every little element down. You tracking with me? Every little element. Are you a 1 to 10 on phone? 1 to 10 on showing up? Then when you get to house, how do you dress? How prepared are you? Do you have your milk crate? Do you have every folder? Do you have every little file, every little letter, every little app? Do you have all that? No, I don't care about all that, man. I'm just shoot from a hip. Boom, boom, boom. Like, oh, God. Get your milk crate. Let's get your details, baby. Let's get everything right. We're gonna get you making money, okay? We got to get your milk crate right. I didn't even know there was a milk crate. Well, there you go. Some people call them a file folder. That's the uppity ones in the team. File folder. Okay, so get your file folder. File folder fall over. Milk crate set right there, Bo. You flip that thing over and use it as a stool if you need one. All right. Huh? Do what? Got a seat. All right. So then let's talk about what you're going to do in a house. How good are you getting a check? Here's what I talk to people. I'm good at everything but getting a check. How good are you at picking up the phone and calling somebody if you don't get a check? I give myself a 0 on that one. Or how about this? I give myself an NTD more. Need to do more. It's either 100% or not. Your deal is get a check or call somebody. Then after you get a check, do you review? Did I get referrals? Did I call the referrals immediately? Give myself a 10. I don't even get referrals. I suck. I try every time. Most I ever got is 2. And I didn't even call them. Huh. Like with pride. That's the 4 basics. And you flunked. Well, you're at a 75. You're at what's that, a C? You're at a C- before we even start because you don't even try to get referrals. Do you try to recruit and get in the house? Do you get a green sheet filled out? See, I could increase your dollars per hour so fast in this business. But what I can't fix is your hours per week that you put into the business. I can't do that. I'm not. People say, motivate me. I can't motivate you. Motivation is an inside job, inside out. Your heart. That's why I like people say, like, what do you think about me? I say, I don't know. I can't see in you. I see the outside of you, but I ain't going to judge you by how skinny he is. You know, that boy need to eat something. That's what his problem is right there. I'm not going to judge you based on that. I want to judge you by your heart, your motivation, on the inside out. Show me, don't snow me. I trust only motion. People doing this, I trust motion. I want to watch what you do. Is this making sense? So I am going to judge the results, and then I'm going to coach on the deficiencies. But I got to lay it out in a silver platter so that people can understand it, as opposed to talking in meaningless generalities and just blowing people's mind with my attitude. Does that make sense? I stay down here, so most of the things I talk about, people go like, I don't even like talking to you because I can't argue with you. And I go, is that your goal, is to argue with me? My goal is to get you successful. That's what the people that want to be successful, like, I like talking to you, you just simplify it and make it clear. I go, yep, that's what I do. If you could do the same, if you take what I say and repeat it out, that's what I'm saying. Watch this is how I coach it. All right, I want to see how I'm doing on these questions. How we're doing the basics, TikTok, 24 hours in a day, schedule, ROI, what's your return on per hours you put in this business, this return on investment. Do y'all know? Oh, nope, that's not it. Maybe this is it. Yeah, that's it. All right, so here's what ROI. Return on investment. How many people can give me a 1 minute or less, like a 10-second explain our return on investment? Who feels good about it? JJ, University of Maryland psychology major. Can you think you can do a good ROI talk? Give it a shot. I think you can too. That's awesome. Let's try the red one. See if it works better. That's awesome, Billy. If I ask him to create that noise, they couldn't create it. What you got?
So my explanation...
Come up here and explain it to me. Come here, Jay. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. All right. Here we go. All right. Tell them, speak loudly.
Okay. So my explanation of ROI would be what you get out of something you put into. Like, it's a great return on investment if you invest in leads. You'll get, if you put $1 in, you'll get 5 back. That's a good ROI.
Yeah. Somebody told me what Terry said the other day. He said, I can't turn water into wine, but I can take $500 worth of leads and turn it into $5,000 cash. That's pretty good. $50 lead and turn it into $500. ROI means return on investment. So what you put into it. So if you had a bucket and you put money in this bucket, if you put money in there and you got money, you put money in and then you got money out. If you're putting in $1,000 and you're getting out $2,000 into this bucket, and in this bucket over here, if you put in $1,000 and you get out $500, you with me? So if you put in $1,000 here and get out $2,000, which one is a higher return on investment? Same investment, $1,000. This one gets you $2,000. $1,000 invested here, one gets you $500. Which one is the better ROI, JJ? One gets you 2 or one gets you $500? Which one's the better ROI? The one that gets you more for what you put in. But now I'm telling y'all this. If you couldn't calculate the leads per hour thing a while ago, I'll guarantee you the same people can't figure out which ones is more per hour, because it gets confusing. Because if you're putting in 3 hours here and getting back $800, and then you're putting in 40 hours here and you're putting in 40 hours here and you're getting back, say, 600, and you say which one's getting the best ROI, people say things like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one's getting the ROI. So if you put in 40 hours here, y'all think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. People don't get this. Help them. Like don't be mean to them and laughing at them. Just say which one's the better ROI. 3 hours gets you 800, 40 gets you 600. How about this? What if I said 40 gets you 1,000? People go, oh yeah, now I know. Now which one is it? They don't know. It's 40 gets you 1,000 or 3 gets you 800. 40 gets you 600. Which one's the better ROI? I got to go get a calculator out. This is 800 divided by 3. That's how much you get per hour. So over here, per hour, 800 divided by 3, you're getting $266 an hour. Over here, for 40 hours, getting 600. Let's do that. 600 divided by 40. $600 by 40, that gets you $15 an hour, and 1,000 divided by, yeah, 40 divided by 40, no, that's right, 1,000 divided by 40, that gets you $25 an hour. So that one's you're getting $266 per hour, and this one's getting you $25 per hour, and this gets you $15 per hour. Which one's the higher ROI now? But ain't it funny how you were like, you wasn't really sure, you had to think about it. This is making $266 an hour. You say, yeah, but you're making more money over here. This is, what I just thought I can't say, but this is why some people are rich and other people are poor, and the rich people think it's funny that the poor people don't know, because they don't understand. Because a poor person, every day, they're going to pick this right here. Every day they're going to pick that. And no offense, but they are. And then the rich person's over here raking it in left and right, and they just can't, they don't. Does that make sense? It don't make no sense. So if I've got you working 3 hours and you're making 800, if I could just get you working a part-time job of 20 hours, we say, I knew it, I need to get a job. Wait a minute. The 20-hour part-time job is where you book another 10 or 12 appointments. Does that make sense? But not work harder. I don't want you to work harder in this business. I want you to book more appointments. So you want me to work more hours. Well, if I could get you smarter so you're better at booking appointments, that would work. So what if you got smarter and worked an extra hour? So that's called compound improvement, because you're working more hours and you're better at it. But you see how I walk people through? Like, I'm not trying to, I don't get into it. And if they still say, I still think I need to get a job, I say, I know you need to get a job. I'm not against that. I just want you to understand the mathematics of it. Is this helping out at all? 168 hours in a week. So I got to drink, eat sometime. Well, let's yeah. All right, 168 hours. How much you going to sleep? I like to sleep 8 hours a day. I take 9. I don't care. 9 times 7. What's that? Is that 56? Huh? Is that right? 63. That's your dumbs. That's your 9 dumb 7. 9 dumb 7 is 63. Is that right? All right. So what does that leave you? 105. All right. Now what you going to do? You're sleeping 9 hours a day. All right. That's insane. You still got 105. You don't understand. No, I don't understand. What's going on? Tell me. Because we got to figure out how to book 20 appointments somehow. We got to figure out how to run on 20 appointments somehow. So what you do is, if you do that, what if you booked your appointments first, then you took out the trash? What if you booked your appointments first and then ate? I don't know about y'all, I'd lose weight. Book my appointments first, then watch television. Book my appointments first, and then spend time with my wife. My wife comes first. How long is she going to take? As long as it takes. All right. My wife, I'm gonna be. She won't. If I take as long, I'm gonna be with her forever. That's her deal. That's what she wants me to sit there. You with me? If I don't get my stuff done, I ain't gonna get my stuff done. Does that make sense? They call it in the books. They call it putting in the big rocks first. They call it most important first. And other people call it highest priority first. I call it book your dadgum appointments first. Does that make sense? So what you do is, so then you say, all right, well, if I'm going to take 15 hours dialing and it's going to take me 30 hours, well, that's 45. 45 from 105, that leaves you 50. You can do whatever you want to with those 50 hours. Family, kids, children, knitting, bowling, whatever you want to do. Candle making. You can just whatever you want to do. This makes sense? I think that's a funny job or something. So you do not take that much time with people. I don't know. Ask them around. I get pretty basic sometimes. Just sit there and talk about it and just get all into the nitty gritty. Got a calculator out, figure it out. And I go, and all the time I'm talking about the cruise, talking about the Ferraris, talking about freedom, talking about their family. A lot of times what they do is they get into their personal life and I go, oh, okay, let me help you with that. Let me guide you through that. Because they say that's what's stopping them is all their personal stuff. It's not the math of the business. I go, is your personal stuff going to stop you from working at your job too? They go, no, because they're going to make me go to work. I go, what if we made you make your dials? Could you do it aside from your family then? Does that make sense? Like, I'm not trying to be mean to them. They're going to make you go to a job. And they go, no, they probably fire me there too. Then that's not going to work. Does that make sense? This is a flexible job. You can do it when you want to. But if you treat it like a job, here's what I say. Treat the appointment setting like a job. And if you have to get a part-time job appointment setting or working, do that and then recruit other time. And there's people, but I want to build a big job business. If you get a job, that's going to hurt you building your business. You have no flexibility. You can't travel when you want to. You can't work in Cincinnati and then work in Tampa. You can't run leads in Cincinnati, run them in Tampa, run them in Richmond. You got to only work around your limited territory for your job. Jobs are extremely restricting. I'm okay with getting a job. Just know it's going to hurt you building your network. Because I'm going to work and just recruit. That's not going to work because now you're not setting an example. And your per hour wage is terrible. So you don't have time to do any recruiting because you have to work overtime over there to make money. It's just, don't give it. Now, so what if a person had a job? If they had a job, I explained to them that they're working 40 and they have 128. And if they're not doing anything with the 128, they're not going to do anything with the 40. Does that make sense? So I tell them to keep their job and show me what you can do with the 128 first. And this conversation about a person who already has a job, it takes me about the same amount of time it took me the person who didn't have a job, whether they should get one. If they got a job, I walk them through whether they should quit or not. And usually I'm going like, I really spend most of the time on the 128. What are you doing with the 128? Because that's going to be a derivative or a direct correlation to what you're going to do with the 40. Does that make sense? Like the same thing if you're making three appointments in 8 hours. If you made 3 sales in 128, well, when you come to 40, you're going to make about 1. You see, if you don't understand that math, get with somebody and say, hey, what did he mean? If you're not working at night, you're not going to work if you freed up your job. And explain it to them. You say, well, it's obvious. No, it's not obvious to everybody. It's oblivious to them. They're struggling with it. Okay, and if you have personal problems, welcome to the human race. Has your mama disowned you, or did she just accept you back into the family? And which one's worse? Did you get a divorce or did you just get married? Which one's better? I just got a divorce. I just got married. The same thing. They told me the same thing. I just got married. I can't work. I got to do other stuff. I got a divorce. I got to do other stuff. So try to empathize and say, I get it. I understand. Try to let them know that your life's not perfect. Try to tell them without telling them everything. And see if you can walk with them through life. And let's build this thing more massive than ever. Love you. Hope this helps, Alliance. Let's go kill it this week. Academy's getting started.